kind of towards the end of this, so I'll try to go fast. But I've been pretty lucky the past couple months with making my business more of a business, not a hobby. So I'm going to kind of talk about that. First thing we'll talk about is knowing your why, which I know we talk about this all the time. Pretty much every training it comes up, but I really reflect on it in every aspect of my business. So that's why I'm talking about it first.
Oh my God.
Wait, not yet. Okay, so before my why, when I first started, my why, I needed to make my car payment and my student loans, and I was consistent with doing like 1 or 2 shows a month, which was okay for me at the time, but my why has changed, and now my why is my daughter, which, your picture?
Cute.
Okay, she just had her 6-month picture. Okay, but these are unedited, so you did not see them because my photographer will be looking at it. You know her. But you wouldn't know that they're unedited.
Oh,
so cute. But I always show, and last time I trained, I had her 2-week pictures, but now these are her 6-month ones. We just did them yesterday. But I always show that in the beginning of my show just to kind of introduce my why.
She is so cute.
Should I take these off, or are they like,
It doesn't matter.
You pay attention to her, or
So basically, since my why has changed, it's been such a bigger motivator for me. I'm now a stay-at-home mom, doing Premiere as a full-time thing, which if anybody has a baby, she's 6 months, I mean, that is my full-time job, but I've been able to put a little bit more extra into Premiere, and when I say extra, that's, you know, doing the more than what you would do at your home shows, more than just going to your home show, you know, punching in the computer and, you know, counting your money. It's, you know, sending out your thank you cards when they book a show, sending out postcards for reminders, hostess coaching, all that kind of stuff. I've been able to put more into that, and I'm more motivated to do that because I have such an important why and something that's meaningful to me. And the thing with Premiere, and it's kind of like the good and bad with Premiere, is that there's nobody, you don't have a boss that's going to fire you if you're not putting in that extra effort or doing those things every single day. So you have to have a why that is important to you to make you want to do those kind of things. Okay, the next thing is having a positive attitude, which again, we've talked about that so much tonight with you ladies, but a little story. Well, I have a very good friend, which you know her because we've run with her and Leah knows her, but a very, very good friend of mine who we were friends as kids. And we actually, I mean, preschool together, friends all growing up, and we were so competitive with each other where we would have play dates and we would have scheduled like timeouts because we would fight if we played a game and just, but now we kind of rekindled our friendship and love her to death, and she is just the most positive person that I've ever been around. And just not to the point where it's obnoxious, but just everything she turns into a positive. An example with that is, I watch a friend of mine, I watch her little boy, and he's also 6 months, so I have it's like having twins, which if anybody has twins, bless you. But there was a day where he was crying the whole day, he's teething, just really, really upset, and so I was texting with her, and I was just like, he's such a fussy baby, I don't know what to do, he's so fussy, and she's like, Elise, he's not fussy, just Adeline is not fussy, like that's a normal baby, you're just blessed with having one that's not fussy. So just the way that she flipped it was just like, oh wow, that's such a good way of thinking of that. And so just since I've rekindled my friendship with her, I really have been trying to think about that and trying to flip things to make them positive. Another example is my husband. He found out a couple months ago that his company was shutting down. So basically he came home one day and was like, oh, I don't have a job, my daughter was 2 months old. And that morning I submitted my letter of resignation for my job. That was fun. But, so yeah, but looking at that as a positive, when he was like, oh, I gotta go start applying for jobs. He had 6 interviews that week, like in 1 week, right after he thought he was losing his job. Had 6 interviews that week. So, you know, wow, you're marketable, you can get a new job. And what happened is another company bought him out, and we ended up getting a better insurance plan, and now it's not really announced yet. I'm giving away all these secrets, but he just got a promotion too, so he's, so everything happens for reasons, you know.
That's a picture frame, by the way.
Oh.
Oh. Nice.
It's slipping.
Another thing, so putting that into Premiere, turning the negatives and trying to flip them to a positive. I had a show a couple of weeks ago that I was there for like an hour and a half. Nobody was there. I was, of course, one of those where you're like, oh, it's wasting my time. But then she ended up having 2 people there, and it was kind of like, oh, well, maybe I'll just throw the jewelry out and have them look at it and not really do the whole show format. But she asked me if I could, because she went to another one of my shows, she asked me if I could run through the whole format, and I did, and I could just tell how much it made her happy. I do the letter game where, you say things nice about her and she loved it, and so, it was something that she really enjoyed. Again, if you have a lot of returns and exchanges, that means you're having a lot of shows. Doing a lot of OPs but not getting any new jewelers tends to be a thing that I'm running into, but I'm getting that experience with, hearing about the business, and hopefully I'll be more comfortable doing it myself and not have Lori doing it with me, but all that is just more experience for me. Okay, moving on to number 3, come to trainings. That's a big thing. You guys are all here, so good job. I missed the first couple trainings when I first started. And then when I went to one, I was like, I'm never going to miss another one. I'm going to try to never miss another one. Even if you're just coming here for the recognition, because that's always fun. I'm trying to get 1,000, be on that over 1,000 home show. I have one that's $9.95, and I will put an order in myself to get it there. But I always leave so inspired after I leave trainings. I tell myself, this is my job. This is why I can be a stay-at-home mom. I put it on my calendar, it's a priority, and so, coming to trainings are so important. And I always take something from, I always come to a training and try to take at least one thing away or 2 things away, but usually it's, sometimes it's how to improve my home show or how to get better at sponsoring. Most of the time it's about getting better, being organized, because that's something I need to work on. And that kind of goes into my number 4, which is working your business consistently. And I think it was Carrie did a little bit of this, and Lori and Melissa, I don't know. Collectively through trainings, I've created a binder, and in the binder I have my hostess info cards. I have the checklist that you on your website that just tells the hostess name, the information, and then did you sign out your thank you card, did you sign out invitations, that whole checklist. I have the weekly planner, which was I think 2 months ago that we talked about with having your chores for each day, and then having your what you need to do for Premiere each day. And I do that. I have the little binder. It's right by my coffee table. So
Do you circle the waters on the bottom?
I should. But it's so when I'm sitting there watching TV or whatever, it's looking at me, so I know to reflect on it. But that's really helped me to stay organized. I know that I've stayed in contact with the hostesses. I made my phone calls for that day. That's really helped me. Just holding myself accountable for those kind of things on a daily basis. Another thing is hostess coaching. I'm trying to use it for my papers. Hostess coaching, when I first started, I just wasn't as good at it as now that I'm trying to improve on it. Making those phone calls with your hostess, it helps them feel more comfortable with you, helps you feel more comfortable with them, keeps your date, not as many cancellations. I did have a couple of cancellations recently, and they were the day before, the day of, and my husband was like, what's going on? Why are you getting all these cancellations? And I was like, I'm really lucky that I'm not getting the it's surprising how much I'm not getting the cancellations. This is a normal thing to have the cancellations. So just the hostess coaching really helps with that. Another thing is check your emails daily. I know I know I'm guilty of this, but everybody has their iPhones or smartphones, and you click on the email and you're like, oh, it's a Premiere email, and you kind of glance at it and then put it away, and then you never think to look back at it because you're doing something else. I don't know if anyone else is guilty of that, but if you give that email for your business, whether it's to a hostess or to upline in Premiere, make yourself accountable to check those emails daily. There's important things on there. Anything else you want to say about that?
Check your
Just check your emails. Number 5, I'm almost done. I'm just trying to go fast. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. what I'm doing right now. Lori asked me to do this, and I was mad at her at first, but but I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, just being so whether that means making the phone calls, like we talked about earlier, getting shows on your calendar, calling hostesses. I always am like, please check text, because I'd rather just text you. Sponsoring, that's another thing. I remember at the beginning I was telling Lori that I would go to shows and I felt like there was nobody there that I could see being a new jeweler. I was like, I don't have any to talk about this, but I just, pull people out of the crowd when you're checking out, talking to them if they'd ever be interested. You're not losing anything. The only thing you're going to do is gain something from it. Just to expand on that, I have 3 girls under me. None of them are here. One of them's in Ohio, and one had death in the family. But anyway, my first one, I was from my training show. That's how I got her, so thank you to Lori for helping me with that one. My second one was somebody that was at a show and she wanted it for her daughter. So it was somebody that I didn't think Premier was for her, but she has shared the business and moved on to her daughter. The third one was somebody that just had a baby, and I was like, oh, well, what do you want to do? You want to be a stay-at-home mom? You want to do Premier? And so that's my friend that lives in Ohio that I met from school. And then even just my own story, I heard about Premier, I went to a home show, thought it was interesting, just wasn't the right time for me. And then I Facebooked and said, typed in Premier Designs Rochester. Lori's name popped up, I sent her a message, we met like that next day, and then I signed up. So you really never know when it's going to happen. I kind of stalked Lori, and I love that. But okay, finally, just be proud of what you do. Be proud of Premier. You're going to have shows where you're going to have people that are not paying attention to you or not into what you're saying. You're going to have a lot of returns. Maybe somebody that's going to be negative. Just be proud of what you're doing, what the product is. Yeah, I think that's. Oh, I went to. I kind of said this on the website, but I did a joint show with one of my friends, and just to verify our hostess benefits, I did a home show with it. She was selling a different product, and combined, we did the show together, and I was able to give away like almost $500 in free jewelry, 8 items at half price, where she was only able to give $50 away in free product, and then 1 thing at half price. So that just justifies that we're in a great company, and to get people to do home shows and stuff, you're not pressuring anybody to do it because it's such a good thing for them to be the hostess. So that's about it.
Good job.